The Northwest Georgia High School Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Alpha Insurance, Al Smith Agency. See them for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs. Call Al Smith at 706-529-6786.
Hey, welcome into the NWGA Football Team FYN Friday Night Scoreboard Show. Another shout out there to our sponsor, Al Smith. Appreciate him being with us this year. Great night of high school football, man. Rainy,
yes,
cool.
Yeah, a little mist. Like I told you earlier, it's kind of like a driving mist there in Somerville. Pretty much the whole night.
Like I said, if you want to join us, man, you can send your comments in on Facebook and YouTube. We'll get them live on the air. We got our first comment of the night, man, which has to be the team of the night, team of the week.
Yes, sir.
How about them Pepperell Dragons putting a whooping on the Darlington Tigers? Pepperell 35, Darlington 10.
I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I did not see that one coming. That one kind of blindsided me a bit, and no disrespect to either team. But, man, the Dragons, much improved, or, I'd like to hear a little bit more how that game went. And be honest with you, as soon as we're done here, I'll probably be skipping through and checking out how it went.
Yeah. It throws a wrench in the Darlington's plans for Week 10. You got Pepperell and Trine sitting at the top of 7A right now, undefeated, 3-0. Darlington sitting there at 2-1. Dade 1-2. Still got a lot to hash out there, man. It's 7A.
Yeah, still almost every team we were just talking about. Almost every team is still vying for a playoff spot in one way or another, which is not what we expected at this point in the season. With only 3 games left.
3 games to go. Let me go ahead and just run through the scores here right quick. Like I said, a short week and won't take too long tonight. Carrollton 64-8 over Pebblebrook. Harrison still playing. Last score I had was North Paulding was 21, Harrison 16 at the start of the fourth quarter. Mays beats Villarica 27-14. Calhoun 48-13 over Woodland. Cartersville scores late with under 2 minutes to go to beat Hiram 35-34. The game I was at tonight, Dalton 38-13 over Cass. Gilmer beats Pickens in a 7 AAA showdown, 35-24. Rockmart 57-0 over Murray County. Model 14-0 over Haralson County. North Murray beats Fannin County 31-28. Dade County 42-7 over Coosa. Tryon beats Chattooga 52-17. Lamar County shuts out Temple 23-0. The game we're talking about, Pepperell beat Darlington 35-10. And Bowden 48-17 over Christian Heritage. And that concludes your scores. Very short night, man. Fall break week, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people lining up fall break with their off week.
Yeah, I think the last 3 weeks of the season is pretty packed. I think the last week of the season there might be a few teams on bye, but man, these next 2 weeks, I think everybody's in action. I mean, to the point where I've already seen a couple of games move to Thursday night because of the ref shortage.
Yeah. No bye weeks.
I know Armurchie at Darlington is Thursday night, and LFO game is on Thursday night. I think they're playing. Can't remember who they're playing right off the top of my head. Maybe Southeast Whitfield, but that doesn't sound right.
Update on the North Paulding Harrison. It's North Paulding 24, Harrison 22 in the fourth.
24-22. And do you know how much time left in the fourth?
I do not. Let's see if I can tap into the Peachtree TV.
Yeah, we were talking about Cartersville before we came on the air, man, just what kind of season they're having this year. I mean, they beat Calhoun coming back from 17-0 down at half? Or were they down 14-0 at half?
21-0, wasn't it? Then they come back and win 24-21, like that.
And then last week, blocking Cass's game-winning field goal in the closing seconds and winning that game in overtime. And then tonight, Hiram jumping out 34-28 with just under 2 minutes to go, and Cartersville was able to drive down and score the winning touchdown. Said Bowden had a running clock the last 5 weeks. I think so. Most points and stats you get are from the first half. Not a fan of second half running clocks.
Well, it's the mercy rule for a reason. Obviously, the stats are. It does hurt stats, but it saves a little pride, I think.
Yeah, especially with those smaller schools too, man. You don't want to put kids out there and get them hurt. I mean, if you're up 51-0 or whatever, then yeah. But Bowden, speaking of that, man, we'll look at the Bowden playoff race. Bowden beat Christian Heritage tonight. Bowden goes to 1-0 in the region. Christian Heritage 0-1, and Mount Zion is left to play. Mount Zion will get both Christian Heritage and Bowden these last 3 weeks. I don't see Mount Zion beating Bowden, if we're going to be fair about it. Way to go. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Fire them up, Dragon fans. Yeah, Brian there, he has to cheer for the Dragons, man, because he does not want Dade County to beat Pepperell, because that would be bad news for the Armoury Indians, I think. Like I said, I have to get my abacus out and figure it out, but I think Dade County, if they were to beat Pepperell, might do it for the Blue Indians as far as their playoff hopes go. Hurts fans.
An interesting play just happened on this North Paulding game. North Paulding was set up to knee the ball, to knee on it, and they were winding the clock. And right before they snapped it, Harrison slapped the ball out of the center's hands. They called it unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, my goodness. On the very next play now, they snapped it, and they literally timed up the center, and they fumbled the ball. And it looks like, well, Harrison says they got it. North Paulding says they got it. The officials say North Paulding has it. So this is what happened, Lawrence. Picture this. I just watched this. This is crazy. They were under center, and they snapped it, and the quarterback was going to come back and try to waste a few seconds before he need.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody dove between the center's legs and stuck their arm out and knocked the ball out onto the ground. Literally out of the quarterback's hands while it was in the crotch of the center. I think that's legal.
Yeah, I was about to say, how is that unsportsmanlike?
No. That's the very next play.
Mm.
After they called a delay of game on the defense for knocking the ball out. They just did it again. The referees are talking. I wish I could live stream this. This is ridiculous. There's 5 seconds left in this game, and they're giving Harrison the ball. Oh, my God. Oh, man. All right. Back to regularly scheduled programming here.
Yeah. Christian Heritage had a great first drive, and nothing after. Christian Heritage will beat Mount Zion. Yeah, I think I looked down early in the first quarter. It was tied 7-7. I thought, maybe Christian Heritage is going to get Bowden the game. But
yeah, there were a few of those. End of the first quarter, it was Trine and Chattooga was 7-3, and then Trine kind of had their way with the middle of the game there, and then added on there toward the end. Chattooga ran the ball okay, just couldn't finish drives off. A couple turnovers, really penalties, a couple penalties on both teams. I'm sure Trine's head coach would say that, they had too many penalties and mistakes. So, Trine's one of those teams that's looking to make a deep run in the playoffs, and I think they can do it. just have to clean a few things up.
Yeah, I know. Dade had a big win tonight, 42-7. I know they were looking forward to getting in that win column. With the schedule they played so far, already with Darlington and Trine behind them. I know you guys go up to Magic Morgan next Friday night, huh?
That is correct. And we talked about it in the pregame show that you missed, the Pick'em show, that Dade County was probably the best 1-5 team in the world. Just looking at their, who they played, the Athens Christian and Bowden, the before mentioned Bowden. I mean, tough schedule.
Yeah, I think that's a must win for you guys up there too. I think that's a game that you have to have if you have any
Yeah,
playoff hopes whatsoever.
Yeah, it looks like the only way that Chattooga could sneak in the playoffs is winning out, which would be beating Dade, and then Coosa the following week, because their bye week is the last week of the season, and have our Armurchie finish with no more than 2 region wins. So our Armurchie would have to lose out, which they play, if I'm not mistaken, Darlington, Trine, and Pepperell.
Darlington, Trine, and Dade.
Dade, yes. So I mean,
Dade.
Going to Magic Morgan and getting a win, it's going to be tough. But I'm sure they're going to put their best plan together and go over there and let her fly and see what happens.
Yeah, we're talking about playoff races, man. Talking about that Cartersville and the comebacks they've had the last few weeks. What about that one? 7-5A, man, crazy. We kind of expected it when the season started, but you got Cartersville sitting at 3-0, Calhoun and Dalton at 2-1, and Cass and Hiram at 1-2.
And a lot of those teams still play each other. I mean, there's still a lot of games in the region coming up. Who would you slate as the favorite right now?
Favorite's Cartersville, just with the teams they've had behind them already. They've already beaten Hiram, they've already beaten Cass, they've already beaten Calhoun. Dalton's the only playoff hopeful that they have left on their schedule.
Yeah.
So you got to give the 1 seed to the Canes right now.
So Cartersville at 1.
Calhoun has wins over Hiram already. I know they still have Cass to play in Dalton, so I mean that could get kind of interesting.
Yeah, they have Dalton and Cass left, which are 2 of the teams that's vying for the playoff spots. Pretty easy for Dalton. I mean, for Cass, they have to win. I think setting at 1 and 2. Dalton is in a situation where I think they can split the rest of the way and make the playoffs, but Dalton has Calhoun and Cartersville. So if they lose both of those games, that would put Dalton at what? At 2 and 3 in the region.
Yeah.
And man, this is going to be a cluster mess.
Yeah, big time. I think if everything goes as planned, there's no upsets, which in that region, I mean, there's an upset every weekend. But Cartersville 1, Calhoun 2, and then it's going to come down to Hiram and Cass. If Hiram beats Cass, Hiram will be 3, Dalton 4. If Cass beats Hiram, then I don't know what happens then.
Paul,
what's happening, fellas?
What's going on, Paul?
How you guys doing?
Good. Saw a little Temple game. Temple was first and goal in the third quarter, down 12-0, and couldn't get it in.
Wow. I haven't seen a ton, and I don't know where you guys are at in the show, but obviously, I'm sure you've already talked about it at least once. But how about the Dragons?
Yeah, that was a interesting score. I mean, and none of us have that. I can guarantee you that.
No, congratulations, Coach Hurst and the whole staff, the whole team. We talk about a couple of their kids on the show regularly. Jensen, Rogers, a couple of those guys. But congratulations to that whole team. And I was wrong. I I didn't think they had a chance.
Yeah, and now it sets up. We've been talking about Week 10 all year, Darlington and Trine, but now it's Pepperell and Trine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, we for the Trine Chattooga game, we do a joint broadcast. So I get in the booth with the guys that normally call the game for Trine, and that was a big topic of our conversation for the last few minutes of the ball game. And I mean, that turns everything on its head. I mean, big game next week here and just up the road from my house at Sam R. McCain Stadium here in Trine.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Like I said, we were trying to figure out the playoff order if who beat who, but man, it's all up for grabs right now.
It is. Hey, and if you're Dade and Armurchie too, I mean that brings you right back into the mix of fighting for every position.
Yeah, and I think mathematically, long shot I know, but mathematically, I think Chattooga's not eliminated.
I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not.
If they went out, and I believe if Armurchie finishes with less than or with only 2 region wins, that would give them a shot. Now that I don't know, would Pepperell still? I mean, Dade County still be in that?
Just depends on what Dade does between now and then, because Dade only has 1 win right now.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, Dade and Armurchie is last week of the year too, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that could be the most interesting game, week 10 or the last week of the season.
Well, I mean, you never know, but you set up this week, and what if Trine beats Pepperell and loses to Darlington, or vice versa?
Well, I mean, this is it right here. Brian says Armurchie's getting in, baby, so it's settled.
It's in. Brian says
Armurchie's
done
getting
deal.
in. So chalk it up.
Done deal.
Yeah, I know. For Armurchie to get in, Pepperell has to beat Dade. If Dade somehow beats Pepperell in a couple of weeks, I think it's set then. I think that is the key game right now.
Well, in that region, what do you think at this point? I mean, Darlington and Dade down to the wire, Trine and Dade down to the wire, and then Pepperell just comes in here and rolls Darlington.
Yeah, interesting. Let me go over the scores one more time. Like I said, we don't have many. Yeah, we'll roll back through here one time and start at the top. Carrollton 64-8 over Pebblebrook. Carrollton Trojans rolling.
Yep.
You said that North Paulding Harrison game was the final?
What final? 24-22 North Paulding.
Mays beats Villarica 27-14. Woodland loses to Calhoun 48-13. Cartersville 35-34 over Hiram.
Wow.
Dalton 38-13 over Cass. Gilmer beats Pickens 35-24. Rockmart 57-0 over Murray County. Model beats Haralson County 14-0. North Murray 31, Fannin County 28. Dade 42-7 over Coosa. Tryon 52-17 over Chattooga. Lamar County 23-0 over Temple. Pepperell 35-10 over Darlington, and Bowden 48-17 over Christian Heritage.
Colorado is 14-0 in the second over Stanford.
Yeah, I walked in the door and looked at the TV, and the first thing I saw was Travis Hunter catching a touchdown pass.
There you go. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, I heard it. The game I was kind of surprised by, Ben. I'm sure you guys weren't, because I listened to the Pick'em show, and y'all were talking about Haralson County, how they're going to play model tough. That score was a lot closer than I would have thought it would have been.
Yeah, we'll have to pat ourselves on the back with that one. We thought it would be closer than what that spread said.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, that was as expected. I mean, if you follow Northwest Georgia football, model. They play defense. Honeycutt up there, and Coach Peavy in Haralson County and how they play physical football. So that game played out about exactly how I thought it would play out.
Yep. Especially tonight with a wet ball. No one was throwing the ball tonight, I guarantee you, out there. They
No,
were just running, punting, playing defense.
no, same thing at the Trident-Stuka game, right? I mean, they didn't throw it much, and what they did throw was basically, screen passes and little 5-yard hitches and 5-yard, out routes. I mean, not much down the field passing.
Is there any other games that surprised you tonight, Paul?
There was one. You were going, not really a super surprise, but how about that Hiram and Cartersville game?
Yeah.
Did you hear how it ended?
I did not. I haven't heard anything.
Hiram was up 34-28 with less than 2 minutes to go, and Cartersville drove the field and scored, kicked the extra point to win. That's the third week in a row, man, that Cartersville's won, either coming back in the second half or on the last second play.
How about that region too? I mean, we're talking about that 7A D1 region, but that region, man, that's wild. I mean, there seems like a lot of teams up there that are just within a stone's throw of each other.
Yeah, like I said, I went up to Dalton tonight, man. I thought that was going to be a close game. Cass came out and scored right from the get-go, 56-yard pass to Scobie White, and then Dalton just steamrolled them, for 3 quarters. 35-7 after the third quarter.
You asked me about surprise, and that surprises me too. I mean, I thought that game was going to be closer, especially I did look at halftime and saw the halftime score, and the final of that game surprised me as well.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to have to apologize again to Dalton because every time I pick against Dalton, they blow somebody out. So if you're the team playing Dalton next week,
at this point, at this point, Benton, they're wanting you to pick against them.
Exactly. They're like, that guy, I don't even remember that guy's name, but he needs to pick against us. That's crazy, man. I mean, it's literally every week that I pick against them, they blow somebody out. I mean, they win.
I'll tell you a team we haven't mentioned tonight, man, who did a really good job was Fannin County, and you called it on the Pick'em show too. You said if Murray County, if North Murray scored a score with a 3 or 4, that they would win.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it took for them to win tonight. Was a 3.
I told you, if it would have been less, anything with a 2 in the front, Fannin was going to win that game. And I ain't Nostradamus. I've just seen those two teams play enough, and knew that it was going to be that way.
Yeah. No, you nailed that one, Ben. And I mean, I think I ended up saying that I picked North Murray just because I thought they would make 1 or 2 more explosive plays on offense. And I mean, that North Murray offense is something to be reckoned with. I mean, they really are. I'm not sure about their defense. And we all know Fannin, Fannin to me is a little bit like Haralson County or Model in ways where like, they are a very tough, hard-nosed physical football team. But that North Murray offense, man, they're hard to stop.
Yeah, the 7-2A comes down to Rockmart, of course, is going to get to 1. I mean, there's no, I know they still have North Murray ahead of them, and I know North Murray is going to give them a shootout, but you got to go with the Jackets right now. 2 and 3, Model and North Murray. Whoever wins that one is 2. Whoever loses is 3. And then week 10, Fannin County at Haralson County for the 4th spot. And that'd be a heck of a game.
The season goes by so dang fast. I mean, I can't believe we're getting down here to the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, but I'm excited for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season because there's so much to be sorted out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a region
it's cooler.
Have a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's a cooler, and then we got stuff to sort out.
Oh, it's football. Yeah, it's football weather now. I'm not standing up there in the booth sweating, calling the game. So that's nice.
Hey, just wait. This time next year, we'll be going for our PhD, trying to get all these numbers together.
I'm gonna leave that up to somebody else. I'm gonna leave that up to Lawrence's guy there.
We're gonna have our stat man on here next year, and he's gonna tell us everything because I can't even figure out a 4-team race, much less anything else. You know.
I hear you.
He's going to be talking, and the rest of us are going to be over here with smoke coming out of our ears.
Well, here's the thing: if you've got, let's say you've got, I don't know how, 20. What do we say? 23 private schools between 1 and 3A. So let's say you got 18 private schools in 1A. I mean, that's a lot of spots that are going to be removed. I mean, say 12 of them make the playoffs. I mean, that's 12 public schools that's going to make the playoffs that wouldn't. So I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's a lot more included. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I kind of heard somewhere where they're going to put 24 in Class A1 and 24 in Class A2 and make everybody make playoffs.
And I'll tell you guys this: I don't know what they're going to do next year, Lawrence. You're probably right, but we've had a lot of conversations about when Trine, which is the only team I've got experience with as far as all this goes. Back when they did the power rankings and the private schools were in the regions, but then did not compete for the state championship. Several years ago, they lowered the playoff bracket. Everybody got a bye in the first round.
24 teams, right?
Yes. So what happened is the lower classification public schools did not have a game that first playoff week.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of my major questions when we were doing our show a couple of weeks ago that we didn't have an answer to yet, that we're going to have to get an answer to, is how many teams are going to be in these playoffs.
Yep. And I went back and double checked just to see, and yeah, sure enough, they did not have a playoff game the first playoff week when the higher classifications did have a game. The lower classification there did not. And so the playoffs didn't actually start until like the first round game was like just a week or two before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, wasn't it like 9 versus 24 and 10 versus 23, and so on and so on in the first round? That's what I thought I remembered as well.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this region here? We hadn't spoke much about it because they didn't really have a lot of games this week. But the Northwest Central Cedartown Heritage region, that's 7-4A. We got Northwest and Central both 2-0, and then the Heritage and Cedartown 1-1. Those your 4 playoff teams, or what do you think?
I think it's going to come down to Central at number 1. I think whoever wins Cedartown, Northwest Whitfield is going to be 2 and 3, and then whoever wins Heritage to Norville will be your 4.
And that Heritage Norville game is 2 weeks from now. It looks like.
I'll tell you the one thing I didn't know. I didn't catch this last week until late, man. But last week, so Norville gave Central a pretty good game. I think it was 35-32, and Jackson Pate had over 400 yards.
It was 45-35.
45-35.
45-35. And we'll probably have to look this up. I don't even know if they played yet. I'm all over the place right here tonight. But has Northwest and Sonoraville played?
Yes, and Northwest beat them.
Okay.
Yes, Northwest beat them 21-20.
21-20.
20-0 at half, and Northwest come back and won 21-20. Pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I remember that now.
Buford lost, huh?
They were predicted to lose.
Oh, tomorrow he'll be a 3-star quarterback. Just watch. He'll be 3-star tomorrow.
It was
Georgia can't get no players.
Carrollton was up 57-8.
Hey, poor old Georgia.
Good. I'm gonna be honest with you, and nothing against this kid. I'm sure he's a great player, but I like the other guy, the Puglesny guy or whatever. Man, he can move his feet, run around, got a cannon. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm sure this is for a different show, but I still don't understand why 5 2-star quarterbacks would go to the same school in the same year. I mean, I know they like competition and they both think they're probably going to be the starter, but I mean, I would go somewhere where I knew that I was going to be the man. I think,
Yeah. I just saw something a day or two ago. That Julian Sayans committed to Alabama for next year. 5-star guy, and I think they're in the mix down to the final 2 or 3 for another 4 or 5-star guy from I think maybe the same class. And I agree, Lawrence. I mean, but the environment we live in now, I guess it makes it easy on these guys. You believe in yourself, you think you're going to win the job, and if you don't, well, okay, I'll hit the road.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's so easy to hit the road. You got to have another one there just in case somebody bails.
Heck, you may make more money to hit the road.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of. I mean, how many Carson Becks can you think that they've been 4 or 5-star guys setting for 3 years? There's not a lot of them out there.
No, but I like Carson's attitude. I like what they were talking about the other day during the Georgia game about the fact that they asked him why he sat, and he said because when I got to play, I wanted to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I mean, it's not like he's not improving. He's not. I mean, they're putting him through the ringer. I mean,
Yeah.
I seen a comment about Kirby Smart from I think it was Dan Lanning. Of course, he's going to talk good about him because he was under Smart there for a while, and then now he's at Oregon, which he's got. Speaking of Oregon, he's got a huge game this week against Washington.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of that. He basically said that Kirby, he didn't call him a genius, but he just said he never forgets things. Like, somebody might get in a formation and run a certain this or that, and he can remember, he'll say, against LSU in 2011, they did this and blah, 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 blah. He's like, he has an uncanny ability to remember how things went and formations and different defenses and stuff. Says he leaves no stone unturned, and I guess that's evident.
Well,
I can't wait till Bama runs the table and Georgia runs the table and we play in the SEC.
Yeah, that's gonna be a heck of a game.
There's a long way to go, fellas.
I'm gonna put a small plug in. I'm gonna put a
long way to go.
Wednesday, we started last Wednesday doing our college pick'em top 6. We had about 5 or 6 people on there, and we're going to do it every week as the games change until the reveal shows actually start coming out, and then we're going to do a reveal show. You can catch it on my Twitter, and I'll share it on Lawrence's Twitter. And I know it's not high school football, but it's still football.
This is a question for you and Paul. I know we've covered it a couple times already tonight, but does somebody else want to know what y'all think about the region play is shaping up with Darlington losing tonight? You guys want to make a prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to go Trine at 1, Pepperell 2, Darlington 3, and I'm going to have to stick with Dade County at 4.
This throws a monkey wrench into a lot of plans, and I thought the Trine Darlington game was going to be neck and neck to begin with, and I don't know what happened tonight. Haven't seen anything but the score. I'd like to watch a little bit of the film of that game just to see how it went. But I'll be honest with you, Pepperell is ticked off. Trine went up there and went down to Lindale and embarrassed them last year. They had a running clock in the fourth quarter, and Pepperell coming off that win against Darlington and coming to Trine after getting embarrassed last week, they are coming and they're meaning business. So I would not hand Trine the region championship just yet. They've still got to play a Pepperell team coming off a big win and coming off getting embarrassed by Trine last year, and then they still have to play Darlington. So, I'd give. I guess you got to give Trine just a tiny, tiny, tiny slight edge. But man, I don't know. I don't know. I agree with Benton though. I think 2, 3, and 4 are without a doubt. Darlington, Pepperell, and Dade.
If the Blue Indians was to pull that off, that would really stick a fork in it or a wrench in it. That would change some things.
Oh yeah, it definitely would. I don't see it. I don't see it happening, but it definitely would.
I'm about to go out on a limb here, though. I'm gonna make some locker room material for somebody right here. This is the way
All
I
right,
see it.
let me turn this up. Hold on, let me turn this
All right.
up.
Number 1, Trine. I think Dade goes down to Pepperell and beats them, and I think Trine beats Darlington week 10. And you're gonna have Trine at 1, Dade at 2, Pepperell 3, Darlington at 4.
You're gonna have we'll have a 5-5 Dade at number 2.
Hey, we said it earlier. They're the best 1-5 school in the world.
Hey, they're 2-5 now, baby.
Yeah, you're right. Excuse me.
How about them Nears, baby? Hard fought game.
Lawrence, you keep talking all that. We'll have Coach Poston on here live next week.
We need to reach out to more coaches and try to get some more coaches on here.
Yeah, Coach Poston, if y'all do finish second in region, man, you got to come on live. You can live stream from the locker room. You can live stream from the food line, parking lot. Man, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you got a phone, you can live stream.
I'm on my phone right now.
As the final standings for 5A region, you're seeing Cartersville, Calhoun, Hiram, Dalton. No, Cass can still get in because Cass has Hiram and Calhoun in front of him, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
crapshoot, man.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot. I mean, you've seen these scores and these comebacks, and I mean, yes, that top 4 makes sense, but I'm not sure that's how it's going to end up for sure.
I have to agree with the 1. Yeah, I think the Canes are at 1. I'm going to take the Canes at number 1 and the rest up for grabs.
Yep.
I mean, because they already have wins over Hiram, Calhoun, and Cass.
But man, close comeback wins.
Comeback wins.
Any other regions we hadn't spoke about yet?
6 AAA, but they were off tonight. They get everything going next Friday night.
That's an interesting region too.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Ringgold not doing kind of what we all expected them to do, and Coachella Creek pulling off an upset here and there. I mean that. Gordon Lee, the young team, still with a chance. I mean, that's a good region too.
Yeah, I think when I got to figuring it up this week, that Daresville, Bremen, Gordon Lee, and Coachella Creek, if all 4 of those win out, whoever wins out from those 4 could wind up in first place.
You got a Daresville and Bremen at 4-0, sitting 4-0, and Gordon Lee and Coachella are both 3-1. So 2 game advantages over Ringgold and Lakeview, which are the next 2.
I've got to go with the a Daresville Bremen winner. As far as the number 1.
Bremen this week is at home against the Coachella Creek Colts. That'll be a very interesting game. And then they'll be on the road at Adairsville the following week.
That's the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, if Bremen can get by the Colts, which I think at home I would probably favor them, that will be for the, I guess, de facto region championship.
Hey, Benton, what is Ringgold's remaining schedule?
Ringgold is 3-4, 1-3 in the region, and they have Ridgeland, Lakeview, and Gordon Lee. So they're going to pick up. You would assume they were going to pick up 2 more wins, at least, possibly 3.
Man,
I think that Gordon Lee game week 10 will be huge.
I was about to say the same thing, Lawrence. I think that Week 10 game for Ringgold is a get in or go home game.
Probably that way for both them and Gordon Lee. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gordon Lee doesn't have the advantage right now. With
Who
better record.
who does Gordon Lee have down the stretch?
Gordon Lee down the stretch, they're setting 5-2, 3-1 in the region. They have a Daresville coming up this week at home at Gordon Lee. Then they have Ridgeland and Ringgold.
I'm telling you, the Ringgold Gordon Lee game is going to be for a playoff spot.
Be better than what people think.
It's going to be a huge game next Friday night. Carrollton and Westlake for that region championship. I'll tell you, the way Carrollton's been playing right now, I'd go with the Trojans. I haven't looked at anything. I don't know how good Westlake's been, but man, Juju's on fire right now. I think he's on 10 touchdowns in the last two weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carrollton, and I mean I'm pretty open about the fact that obviously I know about Juju and Caleb Odom, but I really don't follow these bigger classification schools because it's going to make some people mad. But it's barely high school football.
Barely, yeah.
It's barely high school football.
Well, let me give you a comparison here. Westlake or Carrollton, Max Preps has 17th in the country, 7th in the state of Georgia, and 6th in the classification, which is interesting. Westlake 78th in the nation, 8th in the state of Georgia, and 7th in the class.
So, well, sounds like a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, both teams have scored over 300 points. They're both 6-1. Carrollton scored 318. Westlake scored 306. Carrollton's gave up 90. Westlake has gave 129. So I'll take Carrollton. And wow, could be a good one.
Sounds like it.
Might have to think more on it before the pick.
Hey, you too. If you got a couple minutes to spare over the weekend, go back and watch a little bit of the live stream tonight of the Tryon Chattooga game. I know the score doesn't look like it, but Chattooga kept that game close for about the first 15 or so minutes, and they fought hard at the end. But we have a lot of fun doing that game. I grew up with and went to school with Ben and Jeremy, who call the Tryon games, and we have a lot of fun doing this one. It's one of my favorite nights of the year.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned it before, but I've never done it, and Paul's been handling the Chattooga games by himself. Excuse me. So I'm going to jump in the booth with him next week, see how that goes, and I'm excited.
Magic
about
Morgan,
it.
Huh? Magic Morgan, huh?
Yeah.
I'm excited about it too, Benton. Trust me. I mean, I've had my dad help me out a couple games this year, and you know, calling a game by yourself is not easy, especially when you're having to work all the equipment and everything. So I'm looking forward to you coming up. I think we'll be a pretty good team, and I hope we can make it work and stay together maybe for the future.
Yeah, I'll bring my binoculars so I can figure out who that is. I'm used to being on the sideline. What jersey number was that?
Hey, my eyes are 10 years older than yours. So if you need binoculars, I'm gonna need a telescope.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. I guess I'll wrap it up for the night, man. We'll be back on Tuesday this week for the Pick'em Show.
Yeah,
live on Tuesday night, and we'll have a ton of games to pick from. I think we got a full schedule this week.
Have a good weekend, fellas.
All right, guys. See you.